Hey, this is the Review Junkie, and today I'll be letting you know my list of the best films of 2023. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. And if you like movies, art, and comic books, please hit that subscribe button because all my reviews are hand-drawn and I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers soon so my channel can be official. To be fair, I'm only going to include the movies I reviewed on my channel. Movies that I didn't get to review yet, like Mission Impossible 7, Poor Things, Priscilla, American Fiction, Digimon Adventure the Movie, The Boys in the Boat, The Color Purple, Eileen and Wonka, didn't make this list, but they would have. So my 2023 goal was to do at least 52 movie reviews or more to coincide with each week of the year. But I didn't make it, but I did get close. I have a full-time job, so it makes it very challenging. And my channel doesn't have the subscriber base for me to do this full-time, and hopefully one day I can. If you want to help me reach my 2024 New Year's resolution, then please feel free to share this with your friends and have them subscribe if they love art and movies. It would be much appreciated. So some of the honorable mentions this year includes Joyride, because it was refreshing to see female actresses do comedy. Everyone thinks they're only good at math and science, but that's not true. They can do comedy too. The Little Mermaid, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, and Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret were close as well. They were all enjoyable films, and I encourage you to check them out in case you missed them. In at number 10 is No Hard Feelings. This was a pleasant surprise, and the friends I went to see it with all enjoyed it as well. We all had the same conclusions. Despite its premise and comedy, there were some adult choices made, and just when you think it'll be a predictable rom-com with a predictable ending, it ends up being something else. This movie had heart underneath the surface, and the two leads did a good job. Number 9 is Saw 10. I really didn't expect this to be on here because I'm not a huge Saw fan at all, but this had such an interesting premise about revenge that I ended up enjoying it. I did cover my mouth and my eyes for a lot of the gruesome traps, but Tobin Bell gives a good performance once again, and the actress playing Dr. Cecilia Peterson captivates. In at number 8 is Missing. I can't believe it's been 12 months since this movie came out. This is way better than the first one, and Storm Reid holds the entire movie together. This had more twists and turns than a spiral notebook. Yeah, when you sit down to evaluate what's going on, you realize how insanely elaborate the plot is, and it didn't need to be that extra, but it did. This one had me on the edge of my seat multiple times, and unlike the first one, this one actually delivers in the reveal, and I hope we get another one. In at number 7 is The Lonely Castle and the Mirror. This was a special Fathom event, and it was only in cinemas for like 2 days. I'm glad I saw it on the big screen because this was such a touching and emotional film about being bullied at school as young teens. What I thought from the trailer would be a silly anime fairy tale with a big third act boss battle and magical kids ends up being the furthest thing from it. There wasn't a dry eye in the theater during the last 10 minutes of the film. It has beautiful animation, wonderful voice acting, and the film just takes its time to build out the relationships between all the characters. Check this one out if you missed it. In at number 6 is Dumb Money. I was shocked at how much I liked this one. I had zero interest from the trailer, but I love these types of films about American corruption, and the main character has a YouTube channel too. This had the right amount of pacing for each scene. There was enough stakes and tension to keep me engaged, but it does fall flat in the last 10 minutes of the film during Paul Dano's big interrogation scene in Washington, D.C. What should have been such a pivotal moment with tons of emotions running high ends up being the furthest thing from it. And some of the side characters didn't get enough development, but this was enjoyable nonetheless. In at number 5 is Saltburn. This movie was such a shocker, and I'll never forget for the rest of my life how this underage teen stormed out of the theater because she realized 40 minutes in that Jacob Elordi was not getting naked. Okay. The performances here are great, and I thought the entire setup was interesting. I sat there patiently waiting for the explosions to come out, even though I was a bit confused by the ending because I was unclear about Oliver's intentions. Like, was he in love with Jacob or not? Or was he just in love with the idea of popularity? I'll just never know. This is such a well-executed movie that the only flaw is the reveals lacked any impact. In at number 4 is Talk to Me. I thought this would be a complete dumpster fire from the trailer. I rolled my eyes and had zero interest in seeing it. It looked like such a run-of-the-mill generic teen horror movie, and it ends up being the furthest thing from it. Even though we don't get any insight into the origin of the embalmed hand, the performances by the entire cast and those intense, disruptive scenes make this movie a winner. The twist ending had me gagging, but it did remind me of the 2005 horror film called The Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson. Someone said to me they were confused and had to Google the ending. Like, what were you confused about? Okay. In at number 3 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I think I'm just a Turtles fan for life. It's not just for kids, This movie was such a delight. It was filled with charm and personality. The artwork is interesting. There was always something going on in the background to keep you engaged. And like many animated films in 2023, this sort of struggled and didn't make $1 billion like I thought. But Seth Rogen did the Turtles justice. I hope the sequel comes out as soon as possible. In at number 2 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie was phenomenal. I did not want this to end. It's entertaining the whole way through, but really cranks up the volume during the last 20 minutes. And I knew something was up when the rain was 2 different colors. My whole theater was gagging and speechless when the credits rolled. Was I not the only one who knew this was a 2-part film? It was made clear in the trailer from 2 years ago. It does feel a little bit more of the same, but the creative team found a way to keep things fresh and inventive. I just hope we don't have to wait another 2 years for the sequel. In at number 1, and I'm basing this solely on the fact of how often I can watch this movie on repeat, because having a movie that can always entertain and never get dull when it's on TV is an achievement in itself. I saw this movie 5 times at the theater, and that's Scream 6. I love a good slasher horror. I was worried the killer would be Stu Macher from Scream 1, and thankfully it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't want the killer to be relatives again either, but the writers and everyone involved managed to keep this as entertaining as possible. It subverted expectations with the opening kill scene and really delivers the suspense during the cat and mouse chase scenes. This movie actually felt free versus Scream 5, and it probably was because Neve Campbell wasn't there, even though I wish she was. And just when I thought they couldn't outdo themselves, the third act volume gets cranked up all the way and had me white-knuckling it all the way through. So that's my top 10 for 2023. Please let me know what your list is below. And thank you again for everyone that signed up to my channel in 2023. It means a lot. I really hope the channel takes off soon so I can do this full time. And if not, I'm just having a blast watching the movies and doing the illustrations. So thanks again for checking out my review. If you like, please subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share this with your friends. And if you happen to have a movie you'd like me to review, please let me know. I'd be happy to watch and illustrate it for a future video. Thanks again, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.